It's time for the Japanese Joystick Jizzfest.
God, they're so hard to get the top off though. This video I'm going to give you guys a bit of an insight into modding a joystick. I don't mean about modding a joystick as regards to the actual controller itself or the buttons or anything. I'm going to leave those exactly as they are. I just want to mod a joystick I've got already to be compatible with another console. The one that I'm going to actually do it with as regards to joystick is the Hori joystick that I actually received from Ori, Mr. Oreo 76. Now this actual joystick, strangely enough, can work with multiple consoles, but you have to get a certain lube before it plugs into the back and goes into your console. This was supplied with a PC Engine wiring lube, so I can use it with that, but I can't use it with anything else. And I bet to get hold of the leads is like trying to find rocking horse shit, I suspect. So I decided to mod this, hopefully. I haven't actually opened that up yet to see whether or not it's going to be easy to mod. It should be, in theory. But I'm going to look at that, and I want to mod that, and Darren Walsh sock will have an orgasm or a hard-on or basically, I don't know, pass out when I say this, but I'm going to mod it for a Sega MegaDrive, so I can use the joystick on a Sega MegaDrive. I've got a rake of these, which are MegaDrive joypads, so I'm basically going to hack a pad. I'm not going to go into absolutely massive amount of detail. If you guys want any information about this, just drop me a comment. So basically, I'm going to butcher one of these, and actually basically store the PCB of this inside. Hopefully we'll be able to get it inside of that, and I'm going to link all the buttons from one thing to another, and I'll show you how I'm going to do it, or give you the insight of how I'm going to do it. And it will still work for the PC Engine, that's the plan, and it will also work for my Mega Drive, so I'll have this lead coming out the back of the joystick basically. So I'll cut a little hole in it, and hopefully it'll work, and that's what I intend to do. So let's see how it goes. A bit of an issue, guys. I couldn't do it. Well, so far I can't do it. Oh, terrible, embarrassing. I don't know how I'm going to live this down. Basically what happened is I started to take apart, or I took apart the Hori stick that was for the PC Engine, and first off, there wasn't really enough room in there to fit the PCB from the Mega Drive controller in. I could have perhaps just squeezed it in if I really needed to, but what actually put me off immediately was that the buttons on that specific Hori stick aren't proper arcade buttons. I didn't think they were by the feel of them anyway, but they're basically just based on rubber contacts. I abandoned that idea, excuse me, stuck it all back together again and thought, right, what other joystick can I use? And I was going to use I thought about using my PlayStation one. I thought, oh no, because I don't really want to knacker that in. I've actually got one, I've got another Hori stick that I got for PlayStation 3. Ripped it all apart, started modding, but to be fair, it's a fairly logical process to go through to mod a joypad PCB. Basically what you do, take wires off that and you connect them to the buttons and the controller within the joystick. I tried that and it started to work, and I started to get a few issues with the movement automatically starting to move. So the character on the screen would automatically start going up and down for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I thought, what the hell's bloody causing this? And I actually went through I spent all night on this I was absolutely pulling my hair out, and I ain't got much hair left. I was absolutely going mad. I must have started it at, I don't know, about 7:30, and I was still on it at 12:30 this morning, 12:30 this morning. I was still on it, and I was absolutely going mad because I couldn't work out what the problem was, and I must have rewired the loom on it. I must have done it 9 times, at least 8 or 9 times. I was just going absolutely round a twist, and it was just intermittent. Couldn't work out what it was, and I come to the conclusion that it's the original PCB board that's in the arcade stick that the PlayStation 2 uses to communicate with. Sorry, PlayStation 3 in that case, but nearly all of them have got a PCB in them with a chip in there that it uses for communication purposes. And I think because that was still connected, it's getting some kind of voltage or whatever. I don't know if there's some switching going on or whatever, but it must have been. There's nothing else. There's nothing else that could have interrupted it. And I thought, well, I'm not going to rip the PCB out of that because it would be useless other than a Mega Drive, so I'll lose the PS3 compatibility with it. So basically now I've decided that I'm going to get another joystick, rip the guts out of it as regards to the PCB that's in there, and actually hardwire directly straight from the Mega Drive PCB of the gamepad straight to the buttons and the controller within the joystick. I finally got the new joystick chassis, carcass, whatever you want to call it, delivered for the Mega Drive that I'm going to do, and it's one of these beauts, brand new. It's the Wii stick. I don't actually know what's inside this stick as regards to what type of stick it is, but it cost me it cost me delivered brand new £30. That's the stick. It's a Mad Catz one. So it's proper micro switched and all that. Jeez. Yeah, so I'm going to crack this open, and hopefully I will be able to get somewhere now with the Mega Drive. So I'll get straight onto that. It's got the proper arcade buttons in there, so I can actually come straight off these directly. And they're actually all going into a central sort of plug loom here, which is really funky. So it's quite easy, or easier, I should say, for me to actually wire into this. That's the main PCB there, so I'm going to disconnect that. I'm not going to pull it out, but I will disconnect it. And this is the standard Wii joystick port Dewberry connection lead. So I'll probably just pull that off there, in effect, and just leave it inside the case. And you've got the start and select buttons there, and again they're direct wired, so I can sort that. I'll get onto modding this now. I mean, this looks an absolute mess. I totally agree, but basically that there is the PCB. That's the PCB for the original Mega Drive Genesis joypad. So that's got all the contact points. Now if you see that cross there, that's your up, down, left and right cross, and you can see all the contacts off there. And basically you need to take extensions from certain contacts off this PCB to the directional part of the joypad, which is what I've done there. And there's a ground as well. A good thing about this joypad, or all the Mega Drive joypads that I'm aware of, they use a common ground, which means they use a single ground point for every single switch effectively. There you've got the A, B and C button, and that's the start button. So what I've done is just took off the various points I need to from that PCB. I've connected the controller parts to the actual joystick, and I've connected A, B and C to the buttons there, A, B and C. Now obviously this joystick's got a great load of buttons on it. I could get a 6-button pad, a Mega Drive 6-button pad, and mod that and stick that in here, and I probably will do that at some stage, but this is working just with the 3 buttons at the moment. And I've also hardwired into the start button, which is at the back. You probably can't see that, it's come round there. So there's the PCB for that, and that's all hardwired back to the PCB, and it works, and it's absolutely utterly sweet. So yeah, that is your that's your PCB mod of a joypad. PCB, in this case a Mega Drive, wired straight into a modern day joystick, and it rocks. And here we have the finished article. Look at that. Whoa. Obviously, I haven't altered any of the joystick itself, but at the back here is the MegaDrive plug loom coming out the back, and it's just using the original one. The Wii was coming out actually, so all this is part of the original pad, and you'd never know by looking at it that that actually wasn't actually made for the job, to be honest. So just to prove, and I've tried it and it is absolutely mint. That's the end. There we go, just get the Sega sign there. That's the end that goes into the MegaDrive, and it is absolutely mint. And this took me about, I'd say about an hour to mod, which isn't a lot of time, and it worked first time. So I had none of the problems I got with the other joystick, where it was having some issue with some grounding issue or whatever. But so this is now a modern day joystick that will work absolutely royally on my MegaDrive. Just a bit more really about this stick as regards to the actual stick itself. I haven't actually done anything about the stick, regardless of whether or not I've actually converted this for a MegaDrive. I've got to be honest, for what this cost me, it's an absolute steal. I got it off Amazon, not direct through Amazon, but one of their resellers, I think Gadgetsville, and it was 28 quid. It was £28 I think, plus £2 3p delivery, and it was posted out on Monday and came today, which is Wednesday. Sorry, today is Wednesday, so it only took a couple of days to get here, and it's 30 quid, and it's a nice joystick. I'm not pretending that the actual joystick mechanism is the best, but you can easily mod this if you want to do it. You've got the array of buttons on there, and it's a real nice movement. On the MegaDrive, it feels absolutely stunning. It really does feel nice, and I'm glad I've done this really. So yeah, for 30 quid, and it's a good base to convert for anything really. When you want to do one for Super Nintendo or whatever you want to do, it's a good base to do it from. So I would wholeheartedly recommend one of these, certainly for modding, as regards to using it for a retro PC, or even if you want to use it for the Wii and you want to mod the internals. But to be fair, it works absolutely fine in the way that it's configured. So I would say that is a definite 10 out of 10 buy, from my opinion, for the money anyway, because it's an absolute steal. So I hope this video has been useful insight. If you want to ask any questions, guys, about modding a joystick so it will work with a retro console, you know, these these pad hacks. If you want to know anything more about pad hacks, then give us a shout, drop me a PM, drop me a comment, and I will do my best to answer your query. Cheers guys, speak to you again soon.